Hello and welcome everybody to the Sunday GT3 series here at Trackalicious. We are at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo, otherwise known as Valencia. I am joined today in the booth by Stephen Tomazic. Stephen, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Mike. Unfortunately, I can't be in the car tonight due to an injury, but we're going to have fun with it.
Yep, and also Dom not in the booth with us tonight as his visa has been denied once again, unfortunately. I'm not sure why he's having so many visa issues lately, but nonetheless, Stephen has made it here down to Valencia, Spain with me to see this amazing circuit. We have 2.4 miles here at Valencia. It's going to be 14 corners, 5 to the right, 9 to the left, and some thrilling action tonight indeed. It's a motorbike track, mostly, at least made for motorbikes, so we got very low curbing here where the drivers are going to be pushing the limits every single lap, and we're going to see quite a few invalidations if I had to predict. But Stephen, this is going to be quite the thriller tonight, is it not?
Yes, it is. During my own practice sessions here, before my injury, I was getting stuck with track limits almost on every turn. It is a very tight track to drive around.
We have Devin Anthony in chat. Welcome, Devin. Joining us tonight here. As we are already over into the qualifying session as it stands. 3 minutes have been elapsed and drivers are putting times almost onto the board. But as it stands, we are, like I say, here round 6. We have a couple other leagues, of course, that we offer here at Trackalicious. Our Thursday GT3, and GT4, Sunday GT3, and our Monday rookies, of course, over on SimGrid. It's pinned up in the chat and !SimGrid if you guys are interested. But as it stands, why don't we pop over into the session here and see some of these lap times.
Right now, Ricardo is the first driver out and to set a lap time. His current lap time is a 31.330. The next closest driver behind him is Engine with a 32.37, and Vause is right behind him with a 34.002.
Yes, times coming in thick and fast here. Quinn Smith jumping up onto the time charts with about 6/10 off the pace. Very uncharacteristic there of Quinn Smith. He'll be right up there with Ricardo Rivera. And we have Daddy Dad in his Poppy Pop account. Interesting. Absolutely love to see it. Welcome, Daddy Dad. Happy to have you here. The Australian mite himself. And Steven, you probably couldn't even tell that you were in a booth with an American there momentarily.
Yeah, that was a wacky introduction there to Poppy Pop _Pop.
Of course, the streamer over on Twitch himself.
Oh man, everybody's a streamer nowadays. And
holy smokes, Poppy Pop has became a grandfather yesterday. That's awesome. Congratulations, my man.
No, that's a good reason. That is a very good reason.
That's also hilarious.
Ricardo Rivera has increased the delta once again to now a 30.997. Quinn Smith 1 second behind.
Ooh, Jace right there coming up into the time charts, just making his presence known as it stands. 5/10 off the pace, but yeah, Steven, as you're saying, Ricardo Rivera walking away with this qualifying session so far. Kyle Jr. as well coming up onto the time charts, 8/10 off the pace. Have a pit exit there. It's very tight pit exit on the in terms of coming into the first corner. Got to be very careful for that in the race. There is one mandatory pit stop tonight. And Stephen, if you can remind us of the requirements.
The requirements, I believe, for the 90-minute race is one pit stop mandatory, fuel and tires.
All right.
So we should be seeing every driver coming into the pit for a 30-second pit stop.
A mandatory stationary time of 30 seconds plus any damage accumulated along the way. Hopefully the drivers don't pick up too much of that. Valencia definitely has a bit of runoff area, a little bit of room between the barriers and the curbing, which allows a little bit of leniency for drivers, but you know, Stephen, all too well that Mr. Barrier, he is quite the attractive one at times.
Yes, Mr. Barrier has a date with somebody tonight. Who that somebody's going to be, we don't know yet.
Doc Milwee, Papa Milwee as well in chat. Welcome. Hope you guys are having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you guys are in this fine world. We have 23 drivers on the grid as it stands, and a reason for that, pointed out to me by Steven, was a lot of the drivers here are in Indy today. So, of course, Trackalicious having a bit of a meetup in Indy to watch the GT race over there, the LMP prototypes and whatnot. Actually didn't catch that today.
I did not either. I was busy with other things.
Ooh, Kyo Jr. there. Hitting the curb and going off the track. I got a feeling that's going to be a bit of a theme tonight. The rear end of that McLaren of Anton Vaus in the CJ Engine Works definitely getting a bit excited on exit there. Anton trying to push along. We
got about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes left of this qualifying session, and the closest person to attacking Rivera's time right now is Engine, but we still have the even number plates to come out, and Fernandez, I believe, is going to be on fire in that Audi.
Yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on Mike Burkov as well. One to keep an eye on. We also have Forzy in chat. Ashley Forrester out there. Welcome, welcome. Good luck tonight, Ashley. And CJ on an invalid lap this time around. I think he will be able to make it to the flag one more time. He has 1 minute and 40 seconds to do so. He's 35 seconds in, only needs a minute to get back. He should have time to start one more lap, but he needs to put it together if he wants to take that pole position away from Ricardo Rivera and bank that Ricardo isn't going to set it even further away, the goal here. As Ricardo as well is going to have another lap. Actually, be very close. I think Ricardo will sneak in another lap. He's 2/10 down on his Delta, though, as it stands. Lizzie, welcome.
He's got 1 minute left to get around the track, to get across that line, to get that last run in. And Vadik is setting a heater right now. He's 1 second up on his Delta, which would put him up into the top 5, I believe.
So it's Stitsev here coming into the back of Sector 2, the hairpin here. Now the S into what's going to be out of these corners. Not too many corner names that I can pronounce that well here. Coming up now through Campos in, or rather, wait, where is Campos? Campos in the final corner, excuse me. Heading towards Campos now. Big sweeping left-hander approaching it, very high speeds here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo. 1.2 seconds as it stands. Crosses across the line. 4th position for Vadik Otsitsev. We'll get there eventually. The Squadra Corsa Fuchsia competitions looking very strong. Jace Wright entering his pit stall, I think. Practicing his pit entry there on the exit. CJ Engine not able to take the pole position away from Ricardo Rivera. And Ricardo on a flyer in the Puerto Rico Racing Club. Was going to say that right. And currently no time gained. He's going to be one of the final people to set a lap on this lovely evening here. 5:11, well, morning, I suppose.
Yeah, but Mike Patrick is improving, and I think he's going to stay where he is, though he did improve on his time.
Good lap there put together. Just a little bit off the pace. P last for Mike Patrick. Definitely very uncharacteristic from him. Ricardo Rivera Got a couple more corners to go here in the 787. Awesome livery there from the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club. And Lizzie, how's your evening going as well? See you in chat. Ricardo Rivero comes across the line with a not quite fast enough lap, just off his time, a few hundredths behind. We have our even plates now getting ready to start their lap. Ricky Scott, I think, is going to be the first one to do so in the Nause Racing McLaren here. Can hop on board as we head into turn 1.
Yep, followed closely by Medrano. Daniel Medrano is the second one across the line.
Ricky Scott now through the second corner, in through the little kink. Braking now for the double apex. Get on the throttle nice and heavy where the corner comes at you very quickly there. A little bit of off camber, which allows you to carry a bit more speed in than you would think. Through the left-hander, you can see the curving, or rather lack thereof, on the inside and out. As I said before, it's due to the fact this is a motorcycle circuit, typically MotoGP, of course, racing here. Wow, very hot into the braking zone goes Ricky Scott. McLaren gets a little out of shape there. That corner is extremely hard to get, as there's a corner right before the braking zone, which just kind of throws you off just a little bit, throws your balance off. Nice and tidy for Ricky Scott there through the back apex, or back hairpin, entering sector 3 now through the chicane, kind of chicane. Sector 3, a very short sector. Braking there. Braking while turning, as you're basically forced to do in that corner. Really hard to keep the car under control and get it stopped in time. Ricky Scott there comes across the line. Where's it going to be? It's going to be 10th fastest for him. Lap looked very tidy for him. A bit of time still on the table, though.
Yes, there's a lot of time still on the table. There's a lot of areas on this track where you can you can really flirt with those track cut warnings and get away with it to gain more time.
Mike Burkov on his lap. As I said before, this is one of the drivers to keep an eye on. It's Wilson Fernandez as well on a lap. He just started one, though.
He unfortunately invalidated his last lap.
Pushing the limits just ever too far. Just slightly too far. And Lizzie practicing for tomorrow night, she says today. That's awesome. Of course, tomorrow is going to be the Rookie League over at Snetterton. You can find us live here at Trackalicious. We're going to be live 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. And if you guys are interested in joining the Rookie League, of course, I'll pop up the calendar real quick, which the Rookie League isn't on, of course. The Rookie League is available over at SimGrid. I see that it is full. 55 or 65 out of 65 signed up, or 55. But anyways, feel free to sign up as a reserve driver, as if it is not a full race, which I will see. We've had nothing but full grids so far, so make sure you guys do get signed up as a reserve driver. Get in there, and just in case you guys there is a spot available, you will be able to race. Mike Burkov does go up to 4th position, though, in this current qualifying. It's still a few more laps to go. We'll take a look at Wilson Fernandez, who has also invalidated another lap. Wilson, he is pushing a little bit too hard here. He needs to get a banker lap on the board at the very least.
He does, and time is running out. He's got about maybe 3 more shots at getting a lap in. He needs to tone it back just a little bit, get that banker lap in, then go all in.
Wilson Fernandez looking pretty good on this lap. We'll ride along with him as we crest through Sector 1, entering Sector 2 now. A bit of a kink onto the back straight here. The back straight, not that long, but it is going to be one of the longer parts of the track. Of course, start, finish straight. The longest part with Turn 1, good overtaking opportunity, but you need to be very bold. That's one thing about this track, is the overtaking opportunities are not too prevalent, and when they are, you need to make sure that you are very decisive in your maneuvers and make no mistakes while doing it. Wilson Definitely not one to make mistakes too often. Made a couple tonight, though, in this qualifying session. He needs to keep this one valid, just keep it under control. As you can see, very, very wide as he enters the penultimate corner.
Very aggressive with that Audi.
Coming through the final corner now onto the start-finish straight. He has managed to keep it valid. Where is this lap going to put him? Wilson Fernandez comes across the line, and it's going to be only 9th fastest.
Well, he's got his banker, and now he can attack full steam for the next 2 attempts, and he just barely kept it on track coming around the first turn.
I really thought that was going to be invalid, but yes, he somehow keeps it valid. Wilson Fernandez pushing the limits. He didn't gain any, though, in that first corner, as I was a little bit deep, I would say, but not able to carry. He is gaining more time, though. We'll check back with him as Ricky Scott in P10 is also doing a great job, actually, right in front of Wilson Fernandez, or just, as you can catch a glimpse of the Audi in the background there, has the 444 of Casey Schutte in front. Casey Schutte with not the greatest lap time, and another invalid lap. I have a feeling in this 90-minute race, we may see a drive-through penalty or two.
I believe so. It is not uncommon to see drive-throughs here.
Oh, Ricky Scott's deep. He manages to keep it under control and somehow on track, but he does lose a couple precious tenths there. So he needs a few more to gain on Wilson Fernandez and Caio Jr., the Brazilians down in P9 and 10, with Voss in front of them.
Well, right now he's actually set the same exact time as Junior, so they're tied right now. But if he can keep this lap together, it'll push him up to P8.
Oh, Lizzie, this was the track that you got your first ever disqualification on. That's funny. Of course, Lizzie, the Wicked Witch of Watkins in chat, flexing that she has been disqualified. I love it. Ashley Forrester as well. P second to last as it stands. P last in the timing charts. Matt, our team, one to keep an eye on in the Audi. The American United Racing. Currently even on the Delta. Wilson Fernandez, though. I think this is more along the speeds of what we're used to seeing. Not to mention, the two Brazilians, I just realized this, the two Brazilians have the exact same time with a 1:31.595. No, that's their last now. 1:31.882, excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong timing charts. Both of them 1.257 seconds off of the pole timing. That's incredible. 2.4 miles, and you can't even separate the two fellow countrymen.
But I believe Wilson Fernandez is going to come across the line and improve. He does up to P3. He's still 8 tenths behind Rivera. The way it's looking like Rivera's going to run away with this race.
Yeah, I definitely cannot disagree with you on that. We'll see if Rivera's race pace transfers, can't speak right now, from the qualifying. Also, NFI 1337, welcome. Oh, whoops, I had part of the name covered. Infi 1337. Apologies for the mispronunciation on that, but welcome. First time chatter.
Infilite. I believe how that is. Infilite.
Oh.
1337. Elite.
Look at Steven Tomazic. Big brains. Steven Tomazic, of course.
Oh, man. Well, Wilson Fernandez is on his final attempt right now. Casey Schutte did finally get a time down, but it only put him into 15th position. It does not look like he's improving on his time this time around.
Gavin J in chat, an absolute savage. Ricardo's going to get taken out in T1. The bold predictions being thrown out early here tonight. Wilson
Now,
Fernandez
is that a
practicing
commentator
pit
curse
entry.
if he actually does? Or
No,
is
that's
that...
not. That's Gavin J cursing him. We cannot take that.
We will not be taking that blame. Awesome. And it's daytime.
Of course it is, as we have to go through and do it live, folks. Change the video settings. But thanks to Jeremy Cubbage for providing the booth with some massive technology. 15 seconds to CJ Engine. That'll be served in the pit phase. Yo, Vadik, you drove a 650S yesterday? That's absolutely sick. Of course, the McLaren, that would be. So we get ready here to meet our drivers. Starting in P1. It's going to be none other than the 787 Ricardo Rivera in the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club. P2 is going to belong to CJ Engine in the CJ Engine Works Ferrari. Wilson Fernandez in P3, the Brazilian driver. Rounding out a good lap at the end there, Mike Burkov in 4th. Chase Wright going to be in 5th position overall, next to Vadik Sitsev in P6. Quinn Smith, 7th fastest, next to Anton Vaus in P8. Kyle Jr., 9th fastest, in next to Ricky Scott to round out our top 10. Matter Team going to be in 11th overall. The 414 Audi next to Ronaldo Velazquez in the AMG. The 519 AMG going to be starting in P12. Another Puerto Rico E-Racing Club member. Got a few of them out on track tonight. Absolutely awesome to see. Cronotis, Professor Cronotis, that is, going to be lining up in P13. Lucky number 13 for Cronotis. We'll see tonight. Gavin J. going to be starting in P14. Next to Daniel Madrano in P15. The Lamborghini Evo 2 tonight. I think the lone... No, we got a few Lamborghinis on the grid, of course. Arben Gazarian in P16. The Armenian driver. Number 17. Next to Neil Kerbel in P17. The Sloth Racing Aston Martin. Look at that livery. That's absolutely awesome. We'll have to check that out in game later. Devin Anthony in the Rockefeller Racing Pubs Ferrari. Going to be lining up in P18 next to Christian Dubé in 19th. Mike Patrick going to be in 20th overall next to Reggie King. Going to be rounding out our 21st position there next to Casey Schutte. In 22nd, the Reckless Racing Black Rifle Coffee Company. And Ashley Forster in the Red Bull Racing BMW is going to be last but not least here tonight. There are 23 drivers on the grid and 90 minutes on the clock here. A few penalties to be served. CJ Engine with 20 seconds, not 15. And Matt, our team, with 10 seconds. Those were picked up from previous races. And they will have to be served in the pit stop, where they will have to remain stationary for that amount of time before being lifted up onto their jacks, where the mechanics are able to work on the car. And Steven, got 2.4 miles here. And what are your predictions for the start of this race?
The predictions for the start of this race, I believe Rivera is going to be able to hold off CJ Engine. But P2 and back, I think we're going to see a big fight between Jace Wright, Mike Burkhoff, Wilson Fernandez, and CJ Engine.
I think Wilson Fernandez, if he can dispatch CJ Engine fairly early on, I think he'll have a good chance of pulling away just a little bit. But we'll see. CJ, he's been putting in the times. He's been definitely putting in the practice. You definitely can tell just in his lap times alone. He's up there with the likes of Ricardo Rivera. And that is absolutely incredible to see. Ricardo Rivera is an extremely fast driver. I know we saw in chat earlier, 130s. I think ... That was, yes, Ricardo Rivera in the 130s in terms of qualifying pace. Nobody else able to match his pace.
Yeah, it looks like he has that McLaren dialed in for this track.
And Tony Danzig, welcome. And Forzy DC'd, unfortunately. Let's hope that doesn't happen in the race. As we get ready here, like I say. It's track 14 corners, 5 to the right, 9 to the left, 61 feet of elevation change. Not much at all. That's going to be 18 meters overall. It's an extremely flat track. Very low curbing. As we said before, track limits is going to be the battle tonight for a lot of these drivers. as well as the other cars out on track, of course, that they have to contend with.
Yep, as we're now coming around turn 11, I believe once they come around turn 12, they're going to be getting command from race control to line up for the start of this race.
Of course, they're going to be lining up here 2x2 Noah's Ark formation as they get ready to go green here. 23 drivers in this field tonight, and this is going to be a real thriller. It's been leading up to it. Look at those Squadra Corsa Fuchsia competition liveries lining up next to each other there. It's going to be a battle to T1 for them, but all eyes really are going to be on CJ Engine, Wilson Fernandez. Can they take it to Ricardo Rivera here? Ricardo looking awfully strong in qualifying. I think he's going to have confidence on his side heading into the session. I'm Mike Nause. In the booth next to me is Steven Tomazic. We're here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo as we get ready here to go green. CJ ready to pounce. And we're green here, heading down into the first corner where it's going to be the best overtaking opportunity on the track, and it's an incredible start for Ricardo Rivera. He's already walking away. CJ under threat from Wilson Fernandez, who's going to look like blow by him into the first corner. Late on the brakes, though, goes CJ with a 3 wide behind as we see the Lamborghini going off into the runoff area. Going to rejoin the track in front of Mike Burkov as also under threat. Quinn Smith down the inside. What a move. He's going to gain 2 positions. Mike Burkov gets hit. He gets out of shape. Comes back, rejoins, and makes contact with the number 99 there of Anton Vaus. Looks like everybody, though, is green in through the first sector. Mike Burkov with a move there to take the position back. The Audi there of, I think that's Matter Team, trying to make moves as well. But my goodness, Steven, what a first sector.
Yes, and we just had a big crash. Devin Anthony getting sent off. I believe he got hit by Kerbal.
Oh my goodness, as we get a contact up in the first few positions, Quinn Smith gets, CJ Engine gets hit from behind. Vadik Odstitsev makes contact and is getting dropped down the field. He is not going to be too happy with that.
He's not.
Unfortunately, though, I think that might have been his bad on that one. I'm not sure. I didn't quite catch it, but a little bit late on the brakes. And he's going to have to make the charge up through the field from just about he is at the very back of the field now is Vadik. Very unfortunate from him. Mike Burkov, though, carrying on. CJ Engine as well, taking a little bit of damage from behind, but walking away from these two that we see on screen right now.
Matter Team is off the pace, coming out of the last turn. I wonder what happened to him.
And Tony with a new Camaro livery tomorrow. Let's hope it's uploaded correctly, Tony. Oh, what a move from Mike Burkov, taking advantage of Kyle Jr., who ends up going off the track into the gravel there. And Mike Burkov capitalizes on the opportunity, is now going to look up the road towards CJ Engine, who has a little bit of damage on that Ferrari. Not much picked up, but it is rear end damage, and damage to the diffuser of that 296 can be detrimental if it's enough. It did look like quite a light hit, though, from Vadik. Vadik taking the brunt end of that collision.
Yeah, Matter Team, unfortunately, coming into the last turn, got sideswiped by a McLaren, which got him all out of whack and off pace. But he's back on track, and he's fighting.
Oh, awesome. And David helping the community out. You love to see it. And David as well in chat. I don't know how I missed that. Welcome, David. Actually, I do know how I missed that. That was the first lap. Absolutely insane action on that first lap. Ronaldo Velezquez, that's Danny Madrano, Danny Madrano making a move there on to Ricky Scott. Looks like it's going to be pretty much done and dusted into the final corner. Ricky Scott going to have to defend from Gazarian from behind now. Number 17 Porsche making some gains here early on. Up 4 positions from where they started. Mike Patrick up 6. That's our biggest winner here tonight. Biggest loser is going to be Matter Team down. Actually, excuse me, it's Vadik Odstitsev. My bad. What a move there from the number 17 Porsche. Going down the inside, taking full advantage there of the space that was left from Ricky Scott. And he is going to take it with both hands. My goodness. But Ricky Scott coming back at him. is going to hold on. Oh, these two are going to be battling for a while. I can see it. That's going to be Professor Chronotis joining the action as well.
Yeah, they are fighting tooth and nail for every position they have. They still have an hour and 25 minutes left. You can take this time, calm down. We're starting to settle down here. Breathe, and then go on. There's no need to really fight when you have a 90-minute race going on. And Mike Burkhoff, what has happened to Mike Burkhoff?
We are going to take a look. Mike Burkhoff was behind here as we're battling with CJ. Has a little bit of a look down the inside, gets a great run. What a move there from Mike Burkhoff to get the exit he needs. And that's a tough one.
Stewards.
Yes.
The stewards are going to have a lot of work to do to look at that one.
Oh, but look at this, 3 wide into the first corner, and it's going to be Kaio Jr. that comes out on top. Anton Vaus and CJ Engine still going side by side. Gavin J, we're going to go 3 wide again into the second. My goodness, the Ferraris, the 2 CJ Engine Works make contact. Rule number 1, don't hit your teammate. And they luckily managed to get through without too much of an incident there. Gavin J, though, what a move from the Canadian. Kaio Jr. as well, capitalizing fully on the mistake of others. Gavin J is up 8 positions, though, from where he started in P14, and is making gains rapidly here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo.
We have a lot of battles going on. We have Velasquez attacking the tail end of CJ Engine, and Medrano is right behind him.
Oh! No longer right behind him. He is now actually in front of him right after making some side-by-side contact. Maybe, I think some may look at that as a little bit of a dirty move from Danny Medrano there, but we'll see. The stewards will be looking at that one most certainly.
Yes, they will. And Ricky Scott is fighting off Gazarin. And Chronotis is right on the back of Gazarin. When you're battling this close, and all of P9 all the way back to P13, everybody, they are all within a second and a half of each other. If one person makes a mistake, when they're that close, somebody else can. So you could potentially lose more than just one position. You could lose 3.
My goodness, this battle that we're watching right now is Ricky Scott. Oh my goodness, this is some amazing racing. Ronaldo Velasquez, Ricky Scott going back and forth, just handing the position to each other, but not really handing it. They're battling tooth and nail. This is a knife fight in a phone booth right now. Luckily, neither of them have sustained any life-threatening injuries just yet. Both of their kidneys are still firmly intact. But we'll see by the end of this 90 minutes. I'm not sure that's going to be the case. These two inseparable as it stands.
Yeah, and another battle that's starting to heat up is the battle for P5. You got Anton Vaus, Gavin J, and Kaio Jr. battling for the P5 position. Kaio Jr. currently in P5 with J close behind.
Kazarian here looking to make a move. He's going to be trying to take the inside line into the final corner, but nope, didn't quite get on the brakes late enough. Great defense there from Velasquez. Really just a bit of a look from Kazarian. He's going to be maybe having a look as well into the first corner. It's going to be the best overtaking opportunity, but needs to be wary of Chronotis behind. We also have side-by-side action. Matt, our team, and Mike Patrick in the AMG black, in the Ferrari black, and Matt, our team, is way wide. I'm not sure there was contact there. Drive-through penalty already picked up for CJ Engine. That's our Mike Burkhoff as well on cue, picking one up. The drive-through penalties are starting to roll in, and we aren't even 10 minutes into this race yet.
Oh man, the race stewards are really attacking the drivers today. They're trying to make sure that they are staying on track and within, as you say, the mayo and the mustard.
Credit can't be given to me on that one. You got to give all credit there to John Wright, of course, over at Raven. I definitely stole that from him. It was such a good one. Dom in chat as well. Welcome, Dom.
Welcome, Blue. How you doing, buddy? Oh, Wilson Fernandez. Yellow. Just got a yellow flag.
Vacuum.
And he has just dropped back to P4 now. He was fighting up there in that P2 position.
Looks like an unforced error. Very
And
uncharacteristic.
Velasquez is backwards on the track.
Whoa! Wilson Fernandez clobbering a curb that I didn't even know existed.
Is that the curb coming out of turn 12?
Yes, into the chicane-ish looking thing, into the penultimate corner, I guess. Is that turn 12?
There is a nasty curve there that will send you way off. As we were watching Velasquez just getting a little too much spicy pedal and oversteering the car and spinning it out into the gravel.
Very unfortunate. As a result, though, Jace Wright, Quinn Smith, now onto the podium. Or rather, Jace Wright already had that, but up to P2. Ricardo Rivera is 12 seconds up the road, as Steven predicted, is walking away with this one. Quinn Smith, though, not worried about that. He's currently worried about Jace Wright, who is directly in front of him. Of course, in the wing mirror there of Jace Wright is going to be Quinn Smith, who is very, very, well, let's just say I wouldn't want to have him in my mirror for too long, but I don't think I would have much say in that matter, quite frankly, with my pace. DSQ for Mike Burkov. Did he pick up another drive-through penalty while he had the drive-through penalty, is my predictor? Picked up another sort of penalty with a penalty. That'd be the only reason I would think that could happen.
Oh, man. That really does suck. But I'm watching this battle between Medrano and Ricky Scott. These two drag raced down the front stretch, around turn 1, around turn 2, and finally Ricky Scott got in front of Medrano at turn 4. They were side by side, door to door, the entire way.
My goodness, here as well. Jace Wright covering Quinn Smith off excellently. Jace Wright, the controller king, of course, having to defend like an absolute madman with Quinn Smith breathing down the back of the diffuser. Of course, that dirty air is going to be affecting Quinn Smith's brakes. It's going to be affecting his tire temperature, as well as the amount of downforce that he gets through the corners, which downforce here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo is going to be crucial to stay on the track, as we've seen some drivers not quite able to do that, stay on the track. A few drive-through penalties already being picked up, and we are just over 10 minutes into this race. Thank you very much to C-Punk's Toad for the follow. Appreciate your support.
Thank you, sir. Now, I'm watching Vadik. He's on the tail of Kerbal. He's now alongside of him, and he's working his way back up the field. He's right now on a major recovery drive to try and get back up into the top 10.
He has a lot of work to do after falling down, and whoa! The Aston Martin with a very ambitious move there. Once again, the stewards, they're going to have a really tough job. I do not favor the stewards in this race. And wow, Vadik almost collecting the curb that we saw our P2 holder collect, Wilson Fernandez, who is now down to P4, of course. Vadik needs to be a little bit more careful coming through that turn complex, no doubt. Quinn Smith, though, he has fallen back a little bit off of Jace Wright. Now only half a second separating them. We can pull up our relatives there. Quinn Smith all over Jace Wright like a rash. And I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, another battle that's heating up is the battle for P10, which is currently held by Chronotis. But Gazarin has been getting real close, and I think he's starting to rub a hole into that 296 Ferrari's bumper.
As that whole pack has been going at it for a while now. They've spread out just a tiny bit, but the Armenian looking to put the pressure onto the Canadian driver as well. This will be some incredible action if it does happen here. I don't know. We'll see. Kazarian, he's another driver that has shown some massive pace improvements in the recent weeks. Practice pays off, and these drivers, you can tell the ones that have been putting it in. Jace Wright as well. Jace, he's been putting in massive amounts of work. It's not even funny. Dude on a controller, managing to take some race wins recently. As well, consistently a podium finisher now. Something I didn't think I would be saying, well, but I'm happy to be. I know we have some Jace Wright fans in chat as well. Of course, any drivers out there looking to get into sim racing, if you guys want a protege, I don't think that's the right word. If you want a role model to look up to, well, Jace Wright here. No wheel required for this man, as we can hop on board for a little bit and see just the violent steering wheel inputs that we get from Jace Wright as we head into the hairpin. I did learn that he has a maximum steering lock, so you can see when he turns his wheel, that is the maximum angle that he can turn it. Therefore, he needs to use the pedal, basically, to steer in the corner. He's almost driving a motorbike, in a way, which is very fitting here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo, and maybe why he's doing so well.
Yeah, and he's constantly under attack, and as we just watched Quentin Smith bounce off the curb and lost a bunch of time to Jace Wright coming around turn 12. He didn't hit the curb that sent Wilson Fernandez off, but he came pretty close to hitting it.
And I think Tony Danzig summed that up very, very well. But no need to repeat it, but definitely a good description, as well as Goldsaw, who it's himself in black Goldsaw. Not familiar with that, unfortunately, Loka. Steven, can you enlighten me on that one?
I don't know.
Okay. Bit further back, Danny Madrano looking to maybe make another move under Ricky Scott. These two inseparable, as well as Gazarian and Chronotis. He's the fastest ACC controller. Oh, okay, fair enough. My bad. Have to take a look. But yeah, Jace Wright. He's done some SRO events. Oh, wow. So the man's a nut. He's crazy in a coconut. That's what you're telling me. But who needs a $10,000 rig when you have a $20 joystick to get you through these races?
A regular Xbox 360 controller. And we have Quinn Smith making a run on Jace Wright, not close enough to come around to get him this time around. But Wilson Fernandez is catching up to these two because they are fighting. So this will be a three-way battle between Jace Wright, Quinn Smith, and Wilson Fernandez for P2.
He's lapping significantly better than these two drivers as a result of their squabbling, no doubt. 132.6 for Wilson, 132.9 for Quinn, and a 133.3 for Jace Wright. So Jace lacking on pace. Loka, thank you very much.
And Vidic, whoa, got a little bit squirrely attacking Matt Arteem. But he has found the bumper of Matt Arteem in P13, and he wants that position.
He is coming at him like a charging bull as it stands, which is very fitting for the car that he's driving. Vidic is a driver on emotions, I would say. The man, when he makes a mistake, he definitely gets a little red haze, a little mist that forms in his eyes that will push him to an absolute another level here in terms of his pace. He's not quite lapping the likes of the leaders, but that's just because he's stuck behind some drivers a bit further back. He's down 8 positions from where he started. He started in P6, but he dropped all the way down to the bottom of the field and has already worked his way back up to P14. I think this might be a decent result for Vadik regardless of that incident. But definitely still kicking himself, I would imagine, for it.
But he has to be careful because he might be using up a lot of his Joker laps right now, as we just watched him go wide on the final turn. He's got to make sure that he keeps that car within the track limits.
As we've seen 2 drive-through penalties so far, yet to see any more. But we are only 20 minutes into this race, and the fact that we've seen 2 already is insane. So I predict we're going to see a couple more. Casey Schutte with an invalid lap this time around. Wilson Fernandez as well with an invalid lap. Just because they have an invalid lap does not mean that they necessarily got a drive-through penalty, but got a track limits warning. But it is, it's likely here. It's very hard to not cut the track and not pick up a penalty. It's very easy to carry a bit more speed than you otherwise would when you have no curbing to punish you.
Yes, and with that, you're taking that exit of a curb, and since you don't feel that curb coming at the exit point, you just keep gunning it, and you don't realize that, hey, your tires just went off track until you make it around the turn and Stewart to tell you, hey, you just got another track limit.
And I'm not sure ACC is necessarily good at it anymore, but does it still give 2 track limit penalties, or has that been mostly fixed at this point?
I believe that was fixed.
Okay, that's good. Vadik making a move here, potentially. That's Matter Team, actually, who's breaking the slipstream and is going to go wide. And Vadik, look at that. Veins of ice, doesn't make a move whatsoever. Oh, no!
Oh.
He made contact, though. Vadik, I'm singing the praises about him. Unfortunately, he makes contact with Matter Team and sends him the wrong way on the track. Matter Team adding another bit of time onto his lap. He still has a 10-second penalty to serve. That's going to affect his race quite heavily. Vadik, just maybe a little too eager. I'm not sure. Matter Team facing the wrong way on track again.
I think those tires are cooked.
I think he is cooked mentally. I think he is returned to the pits. That might be a retirement, unfortunately, from Matter Team. Roofless, welcome. Great camera angle there. Side-by-side action for Mike Patrick and Vadik. Vadik on the outside here. It's going to be a bit too wide onto the marbles. Collecting that is not going to help him carry that speed here into the penultimate corner.
These 3 are still fighting for this second position. As we see Quinn Smith sending it and overcooking it through turn 1 off track.
We also have Reggie King making an incident somewhere, or making an error somewhere in the WYC Lamborghini. Vadik here into the first quarter we go. Lamborghini tucks out of the slipstream, has the inside line. Mike Patrick going to be on the outside, late on the brakes. Is he late enough, though? He goes wide, manages to keep it within the track limits, though, and keeps the position as well. Able to carry the speed there and take that over Vadik. But Zaitsev, Stitsev. Gazarian making the moves here on Kronotis as well. Going to be the outside line, trying to make a switchback potentially here. Not going to happen, though. The Porsche just not quite with enough minimum speed there. As he's going to try. Go ahead.
He's keeping on the tail of that 926 Ferrari of Kronotis, though.
Why'd you say anything, Steve? You had a bit of a wobble.
Oh, no.
He's back on him, though, immediately. So Gazarian with a bit of pace. Mike Patrick there losing out to Vadik. Unfortunately, we just missed that now. Devin Anthony getting right behind Mike Patrick.
I had it up on the picture-in-picture.
Lovely, lovely.
But we still have Gazarian going after Kronotis.
Devin Anthony here trying to make an outside pass around a very tight or very tricky part of the track to do so. is going to compromise his exit onto the start-finish straight, which is really not going to help him here into the first corner. Drive-through penalty picked up for Ricky Scott. It's another one added to the list here tonight. Whoa!
Wilson
Fernandez is off.
What happened there?
Too much throttle. As I've completely bungled it, and where has Wilson Fernandez? Here we go. We've gotten it. As the Audi, wow, he turns in, and the rear end just doesn't stop turning.
Oh. That has now sent him back to P9. But that now gives Quinn Smith some breathing room. He can now attack Jace Wright without fear of losing position, which it looks like he's going to attempt to do right now coming into the final turn, but he backs out.
We hop on board here and get a good view, best view in the house of Jace Wright's bumper as it stands. Let's hope we don't get much better of a view.
I'm sure Quinn's getting very, very tired of looking at the bumper of this Lamborghini.
As that Audi is understeering, you can see him just struggling for grip there. That could be down to setup. That might be just where Quinn Smith likes that car. The Audi, typically a very oversteery car, as we've seen from Wilson Fernandez. Get on the throttle just a little bit too early, and you are going to turn into a ice skater.
And it looks like we have Ricky Scott coming in to take his drive-through penalty. And Reggie King stopped on track. Facing the wrong way.
Not again. Go back and see it on the main feed here. I think it might have been another unforced error from Reggie King. A race to forget for some of these drivers as, wow, too much inside curb. You don't see that too often.
No, you don't.
Reggie King plummets down to the bottom of the field on track. He comes into the pits to serve his one mandatory pit stop as well.
Yeah, he's going to reset, get a nice new set of boots on that car, get back out there, and he's going to attack the field.
And the Lambo doing donuts, yes, indeed. Unfortunately, seen a few drivers doing some donuts out there. Some preemptive celebration never goes too well in terms of lap time. Oh man, that's going to be deep. Wow, that curb, Devin Anthony, as you could see him just having to crank that wheel to the right to avoid turning into a rocket ship. And there might have been a little bit of contact there, but Devin Anthony is way too deep, and so is Mike Patrick. Both of these drivers trying to find their own lines on track, but neither of them finding the proper one. Mike Burkhoff, Sunday is not my night. Yeah, Mike, definitely a race to forget, unfortunately. Great scenes, though, here from Casey Schutte. He's putting on a little bit of a show for us. Can he get the job done onto Devin Anthony in this lap? It'd be quite impressive if he could pop on board with the Reckless Racing Aston Martin. Lovely sound of the V8 there. Casey has made his home with the Aston Martin. He's been on it for a while. I think a lot of drivers since the 1.9 have not been too favored towards the Aston Martin. Have maybe said it's had a bit of a nerf, or rather maybe not much of a nerf, just the other cars are just better than it at this point. Casey Schutte, he doesn't care about any of that though. He's going to be driving it with pride, that Reckless Racing GT3 car.
I will say that is a very fun car to drive, having driven in it.
Absolutely on rails at all times. Of course, you can tune that out in the setup if you want, but it takes a bit of work. It's a very, very planted car.
Devin Anthony trying the outside line again, coming around the final turn.
He really likes that overtaking chance, and he's going to have a great opportunity. He's going to get the run here onto the start-finish straight, which is going to give him the perfect opportunity into the first corner. The inside line is going to be granted to him as well. We see Casey Schutte tucked into the slipstream, but it's not even going to matter. Devin Anthony is going to be firmly ahead before we even reach the corner, but he gets assisted into the corner. Mike Patrick gives him a little push. All drivers are still okay, though. Casey Schutte gets the overtake done onto Mike Patrick and is going to be trying to capitalize on that little bit of an error from whoever. I'm not sure, to be honest. Casey Schutte, though, he does not care. He just sees a gap. He's going to take it. He's on the outside. He's going to need to carry that speed handedly in through the first sector. And he's going to take it. What an overtake. If he can manage, he's going to wash wide. The Ferrari is not out of this yet, but I think he is. Devin Anthony going to have to concede that for now. Coming back at him, though. Going to have a little chip on his shoulder after that.
Yeah, and Dubé, while that was all happening, Dubé got around CJ Engine and Neil Kerbel for P17.
Mike Burkov. He's gonna record a love song from a werewolf's perspective. Should hit the top 10 charts by next year. I think it should hit the top 10 charts by the next 5 months at the very most. Who wouldn't listen to that?
Back to the racing. we have Quinn Smith still fighting Jace Wright. I think he's starting to really see the effects of the tires wearing off on that Audi, because he's starting to lose a little bit of pace to Jace Wright.
1.3 seconds is the gap. And yeah, maybe
I saw him get a little bit of a wiggle out of turn 6. So yeah, I think the tires are starting to hurt on him. We have Gavin J. And haven't been talking much about him, but he's up in that P5 position, and he's attacking Kaio Jr. right now for that P4 position.
And David asks, how fast you got to be to join this league? There are no pace requirements for this league. You can be however fast you want. You just got to be safe. Oh man, Gavin J. That's not the track, sir. Hopefully not picking up a warning from that. I think there'll be no time gained. I don't think they will be. Devin Anthony here trying to get the overtake back from Casey Schutte after getting hit from Mike Patrick behind. As we see a little bit of a mistake from Casey Schutte, and that's going to give Devin Anthony a position right away. Devin Anthony takes it with ease. Like taking candy from a baby there. Casey Schutte with a small mistake, and that's that. Going to have to get the overtake done again. Energy being thrown the way of the Red Bull Racing BMW. Ashley Forrester with an incredible livery. Let's take a look at it. Oh my goodness.
Slow down there, Mike.
It's the guys in the truck with their the drone technology. The drones are cranked up on nitrous there. We can see that awesome Red Bull livery. Tag Heuer up on the top. Awesome livery. My goodness, that is so tough to do. Great job from Ashley Forrester on that livery.
We have Gavin J going after Kaio Jr. again. He's made it back to the bumper of Kaio after his deep send in the final turn, but we're back in that same section of the track where he sent it deep and lost all that time. Let's see if he can keep it on track this time. It looks like he does. He gets a good run out of the exit. And he's gaining time right now on Kaio. He's following him in the slipstream. He's peeking out, making it look like he wants it, but he's keeping behind. He's keeping pace.
I also love that livery from Kaio Jr. Of course, the black and gold befitting a champion from Kaio Jr. here. It's very simple, but very, very poppin'. I love it. Very close spectacles here as well. As we can see the racing, no love lost from these drivers.
All right, so we've now broken the 1 hour mark. We're at 56 minutes left of this race. Now the drivers are probably starting to think, okay, when am I coming in for tires? When am I making that pit stop? Am I going to take it early and run it out, or am I going to wait and take it towards the end and hope for that undercut? Or that overcut, sorry.
Yeah, the drivers, like you say, will be thinking about that right now. I think a lot of them have their strategies planned in terms of how much fuel they took early on, because there is a mandatory refueling time that is fixed. So you want to be on as light as fuel as you can to maximize that lap time. Every thousandth matters. Quinn Smith here, lapping faster than Jace Wright consistently, but not able to get the overtake. And Lizzie driving the Lambo, that actually would be awesome. Lizzie, you should drive the Lambo next season. Oh wait, GT4 though. Yeah, that's right, it's GT4. Fair enough, maybe not. Yo, but if you drove the Lambo in the GT4 league, you would do really good, I bet. Quinn Smith, though, having to dispatch one of the Lamborghinis as we speak. He's been not able to do it just yet. Kyle Jr. and Gavin J. still can't separate these two whatsoever. Ricky Scott down in P15 after serving that drive-through penalty.
CJ Engine is another one battling back up, trying to get, he's got a little bit of a recovery drive that he's got to go through. But he's working the bumper of Christian Dubé right now. And we have met our team in the pits right now. I believe this is his scheduled pit stop.
Definitely an early one, going for the undercut. Trying to get some clean air early so he can put the lap times down. Maybe gain a couple positions as a result. Ricky Scott's going to be trying to gain a position right now next to the 296 of Mike Patrick. Mike Patrick's going to have the inside line. Marble's going to be picked up for the Nause Racing there. It's not going to help him on the exit. He is going to carry the speed, though, onto the little straight section into the penultimate corner now. So terrifying watching these drivers go through here every single time that everything is fully clenched. Couldn't even imagine what it's like behind the wheel, and that's a little bit of contact. Ricky Scott, I think, realizes that, too. He backs off the throttle after hitting Mike Patrick. I think he realizes that was a bit of a mistake on his part, not going to take advantage of that. Very respectful driving from Ricky Scott.
And Wilson Fernandez is on a recovery drive as well. He just got around Anton Voss. He's now P6, and he is lapping at the same pace, if not a little bit faster than Quinn Smith and Jace Wright.
And let's also not forget to mention the fact that we have a race leader in this race. It's Ricardo Rivera from the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club. He's checked out about 28.4 seconds. He's gained a pit stop already on Jace Wright.
He's already at the next race. Let's just put it that way.
And what times is Ricardo doing? Ricardo, last lap, 132.3. Fastest lap belongs to him at a 131.8. Dude's on a different planet right now.
No, his best lap is a 131.3.
I don't think that was valid.
It's showing purple on my screen, but we'll go.
We both have different purple fastest laps then. Okay. I don't know what to take from that, to be honest.
Yeah, on my timing page, I'm showing a 31.372 is his fastest.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We have Quinn Smith still on the bumper of Jace Wright. He has to be getting really tired of looking at this Lamborghini bumper. He is a little bit faster than Jace, but last lap he was a little bit slower by 0.03 of a second. And Ricky Scott just went off, and I think he's done. I think he just, RTG, he just took the toe, and I think he's done.
He is fully disconnected at this point. Ricky Scott, definitely a race to forget for the Nause Racing McLaren this time around. A good effort nonetheless.
Kaio Jr. took his pit stop.
Yep, we actually caught that on the stream. He pulled in right in front of Gavin J there. The battle maybe getting to him there. The pressure. He just wanted to, well, end the battle early and come into the pits, go for the undercut, and maybe gain some ground here on Gavin. Gavin going to stay out, try to get the overcut.
His pit stop time, his total time in pits was a minute and 5 seconds. Time stopped was 35 seconds, so he opted for the tires. And Anton Voss is now in the pits. Let's see what kind of his pit stop he has. This is around the time where I expected everybody to start coming in. You're well within the pit window now to try and get these fresh tires on. And I believe actually there is a pit window midway through this race, so that's why we were probably waiting to see these drivers to start coming in.
There's a pit window?
I believe there is.
I don't think there's a pit window. You might be right.
On the 90-minute races, I believe there's a 20-minute pit window.
Wouldn't it say it? Checking. We're checking the driver's briefing, everybody. No. No. There is no pit window.
There is no pit window.
Yeah, one mandatory pit stop, refueling required, tires not required. Yes. We also, Quinn Smith here, still battling with Jace Wright. These two, Quinn Smith's got to be getting frustrated at this point, although I don't think he is. It's Quinn. Quinn is a man who has ice flowing through his veins. I don't think I've ever heard that man get upset once. Very, very calm. Not willing to just go for a lunge from about 3 postal codes away. He's going to wait for his opportunity, wait for Jace to make a mistake and capitalize on it. Although Jace has been driving perfectly so far, yet to put a wheel wrong. Neither is Ricardo Rivera, for that matter, who is checked out in P1.
Yeah, 30 seconds ahead of P2. He's, like I said, he's just running away with it. But the battle for P2 has been on fire this entire race. These two have been glued together, and you cannot separate them.
Quinn Smith 1/10 slower last lap. He's been consistently faster. Even though he's behind, he has been consistently quicker. Of course, overall pace not, because he is bottlenecked right now by the Lamborghini of Jace Wright in Squadra Corsa Fuchsia competition. The teammate of Jace Wright has been making some ground up as well. They just made their pit stop, though, did Stitsev. Coming in for the one mandatory stop, and actually is not too far away from, and just got lapped, actually. That's gotta hurt. Came out behind Jace Wright, the teammate, on a different lap.
Yeah, now his pit stop was 39 seconds, so I believe he opted for fuel, tires, and suspension and bodywork repairs to try and get some of that aero back so that he can fight a little bit easier coming around this track. And Anton Voss also opted for repairs. He took a 40-second pit stop.
Quinn Smith's looking hungry. I think he smells blood in the water here. Jace Wright, 1:33.6. His times are falling. His tires might be getting a little overworked. We're either going to see Jace Wright come into the pits relatively soon, or we might see a position change on track here. As Quinn Smith, I think, has done a better job of saving his tires in that WRT Audi. Currently, though, biting at the heels.
Oh, and Reggie King just sent it around again. Oh, where was it this time? It looks like it was the final corner.
David in chat saying the Lambo barbecues tires. Yes, it does. Thing is very rear happy. It's hard to keep that thing planted to the ground as a result of the wheel spin. But it is currently, though, V10 on V10. Same engine going at it, and, well, they're about the same pace. And as well in chat, I know I've been checking you guys with you. Lizzie and Roofless. Roofless, absolutely 100% right. Practice, practice, practice. Makes you better. Builds up your driving technique, says David. That is how these drivers got so good. They did not just launch this game one day and become the pace that they are. They have put in countless hours, countless grinding, gruesome hours on the sim rig. I wouldn't call it gruesome. That's maybe a bit harsh of a word. They just put the work in, you know. It takes a lot. And it takes some dedication to get that quick that these guys are, especially like Ricardo Rivera, putting in lots of hours of practice every single week. Every single day, for that matter.
Alright, so we have Gazarin and Anthony in the pits right now. I'm just keeping an eye on their pit times, see what these two drivers are doing. Kerbal in P12 still has yet to pit, as well as P2 through P8 still needs to pit. Rivera has come in, is now in the pit lane right now for his pit stop.
Are we going to see either of these drivers come in? Wow, these drivers staying out. We are at the halfway mark. Well, we're about to be 1 minute away from the halfway mark.
And we have finally had a lead change. And Quinn Smith up on the inside of Jace Wright. These two are door-to-door battling into the second turn. Still side by side. Ooh, might have been a little bit of contact there, but I think Quinn Smith has finally gotten around as Jace Wright is now going for the switchback.
Oh!
Has the inside line.
My
and they're door-to-door again.
These two inseparable. Look at that Quinn Smith. He's doing everything that he can, using every little bit of rubber left in those tires to try to get the overtake done as well. Jace used everything he could in terms of rubber to try to defend that, but it wasn't enough. Quinn Smith, he smelt blood in the water a few laps ago. He's been pressuring ever since, and look at that. He gets the position, takes the lead of the race, technically, as it stands. Our preliminary race leader. Of course, Ricardo Rivera fell down the field after coming out of the pits. He is in P5 as it stands. These drivers still yet to make a pit stop.
Right now, the top four still have yet to pit. Rivera's pit stop time was very good, 32 seconds. Wilson Fernandez with a 32-second pit stop as well.
And we have a back marker here getting involved. Reggie King runs off the track. Might have actually picked up a track limit penalty for that. Or warning, excuse me. Is going to let these two by, and that Lamborghini sliding all over the place. This is just incredible action. Quinn Smith finally managed to get the job done, but he can't walk away. Jace Wright is right with him.
All right, Gavin J is now in the pits. I believe he was battling Voss for position. So I believe Anton Voss was the one who came in for the undercut. So let's see if Voss can get it back around Gavin.
Bit further down the field, Devin Anthony. Oh, Christian Dubé with a drive-through penalty. It's another one added to the list here tonight. I think there will be a few more added by the end of this as well. Devin Anthony, though, currently chasing down Casey Schutte. Devin Anthony in that Rockefeller Racing Pubs Ferrari. Looking quite strong tonight. 133.6 is their fastest lap. was fresh out of the pits. They had a 37-second stop time. Maybe a little bit of damage repaired as well as taking tires. Currently, though, comfortable behind Casey shooting.
Now, for this P2 battle, which one of these two is going to blink first and come in for that pit stop? Who's going to go for the undercut? Or are they both going to come in at the same time so that they come out at the same time?
I think that Jace Wright is thinking that exactly right now, but I feel like Jace would be better off coming in to try to go for the undercut, maybe. Get some tires, go for the undercut, and maybe come out ahead of Quinn Smith. I think going for the overcut, and he might have the pace, but I'm not sure. I think Quinn Smith has the pace on this current set of tires. T-Mac,
I don't think Quinn Smith does, because Jace Wright has been gaining on him for the past 2 laps, and he's been closer to the rear end of Quinn Smith's bumper than Quinn Smith has been to his.
That is very true. That is very true now that you mention it. That does mean, though, he's working those tires a bit more, staying within it. We'll see. We'll definitely see the strategy call here, as it is going to be Jace Wright that pulls the trigger first, going for the undercut. He's going to go for that new set of tires and try to get the ground on Quinn Smith here. And T-Mac TM, some nice racing, and everybody in chat as well saying some great racing. Absolutely, that was some amazing racing from Jace Wright and Quinn Smith. The battle is currently over, but I think it will resume when Quinn Smith comes in. We'll see if he comes in at the end of this lap.
Yeah, I believe Jace Wright's crew chief was just seeing the writing on the wall. He's got Vadik behind him, his teammate, gaining time on those brand new tires that he put on. And they turned around and he said, you know what? If it's working for Vadik, I think it'll work for us. Box now.
And as Roofless in chat says, top 2 need to stop racing and get some pace. Yes, it's good luck telling them that. That's all I gotta say. Good luck telling a racing driver to go slow when their entire life they've been programmed to go fast. Doesn't quite compute sometimes in the old noggin. And what was pole time? Say 1:30.8? Something like that?
1:30.6.
Okay, yeah. Ricardo Rivera, excuse me. Ricardo Rivera, the only driver into the 130s.
And Quinn Smith opting to stay out. He's going for the overcut. Oh, nope, he just came in. For some reason his delta went away before he came across the pit line.
Devin Anthony here is all over Casey Schutte. Casey Schutte going to cover the inside line here and force Devin Anthony wide onto the outside. He's going to give him just enough room into the apex. Devin Anthony trying to open that corner up just a little bit more to get a better exit speed into turn 2, maybe to have an opportunity. He's not there, though. Casey Schutte doing a great job to hold on so far. And Thomas Snoopy, wow, almost an entire second faster than your best. That is not depressing at all. That's actually a really good time. Ricardo is just an alien, man. We have an emote in here at Trackalicious to describe exactly him. Vadik here trying to make the move on to Chronotis. Chronotis washes wide onto the marbles. That's not going to help his exit. And Vadik and Stitsiev. I'm so bad at that. I'm so sorry, Vadik. I know you don't care, but I do. And the fact that you don't care makes me care more.
And Jace Wright gets the position back on pit stops. He successfully pitted for the undercut. He gets back around Quinn Smith. So Quinn Smith is now, again, looking at the bumper of this Lamborghini.
Wow. Absolutely incredible.
They had identical pit stops.
So the undercut then, the new fresh tires able to dominate the track and put the pace down, and Jace Wright comes out ahead as a result. And the real record, Aether Yuki says the real record is a 30.6 2/10 off the fastest lap record of real life. Yeah, the real life and the sim lap times tend to not translate exactly. The sim times tend to be a little bit quicker for most tracks, I think, but I'm not sure why that is, to be honest. Part of it could be the fact that we don't have that looming thing over our shoulders called death. But probably some other things involved. Just, you know, you can't perfectly laser. We do laser scan tracks and things nowadays, but can't be perfect. And thank you, Peace Outside, for the follow. Much appreciated.
Welcome. Thank you. Devin Anthony is really trying to get around Casey Shuey right now. He's door to door with him right now. And Casey still has that inside line for the very important corners. And that's where Devin Anthony just loses time and gets reeled back in by Daniel Madrano.
And I'm going to try this one. But welcome, Divisionario. I think I already messed that up. Divisionario Azulado. Welcome. Did I say that right?
And Madrano now finally comes in for his pit stop. So this will give Ricardo Rivera the lead. Which is a massive lead still.
Yeah.
Wilson Fernandez is currently fighting Gavin J for the P5 position.
And my goodness, Divisionario Azulado 250 dropping a Prime sub. Thank you so much, Azulado.
Thank you for making sure Jeff Bezos does not get that sub.
Yes, of course. Anyone didn't know, if you do subscribe with Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, of course, you get one subscription every single month you could use on any channel, and thank you very much for using that here. Divisionario. I'm so sorry. I had it too, didn't I? And I now can't pronounce it. But thank you very much. Love from Spain, as we are here in Spain tonight at Circuit Ricardo Tormo here in Valencia.
Tonight just has not been Matt Arnteam's night. I think he just sent it a little too hard. Yep. And he ended up in reverse around the first corner. Holds his brakes. Takes the tow back to the garage. And I think he's done for the night. He's still in the pit, so he might come back out. But you do hate to see it.
And not the Go Stig, with all of the hydrates being redeemed at once.
I guess we're going radio silent for a little bit while we drink all these hydrates.
I've hydrated myself up, so you can feel free to go and take your turn. I'm quick on it like that. Oh my goodness!
Whoa!
Christian Dubé has collected the curb that we were talking about earlier, almost certainly there. Washes wide here into the corner, onto the back straight. We're going to see now, coming out through the chicane, as, he actually clobbers the inside corner and then gets onto the throttle way too early. Christian Dubé, the suspension being tested handedly there, and he comes out right in front of the likes. Who is that? That's going to be Gazarian in P6. Gazarian has made their pit stop. I think all drivers have made their pit stop, in fact. So we are going to be green down to the wire here.
So the two battles going on right now is Mike Patrick and Velasquez for P13 and Wilson Fernandez and Gavin J for P4. Quinn Smith has dropped back just a little bit from Jace Wright. I think now that Jace has that fresh rubber, the fresh Pirelli rubbers underneath that car, he's now gaining time on Quinn Smith. Quinn Smith just said hold the horses, I'm going to gain 3/10 on Jace right now, coming into the final corner.
And Azulato, is your name? I know I mispronounced it, but you say that you don't care. One thing you're gonna come to learn about me is I do. So, is it Divisionario? Or wait, it's Divisio. Oh, I'm missing syllables in the middle. Am I not? Divisiosinario? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Azulato. You're right. Maybe we'll tackle this one a little bit later as Quinn Smith has caught up. We also have a full onboard lap redeemed for the number 14. That is going to be, of course, who's number 14? The 414 or 14? I don't think we have a number 14 here tonight.
We do not.
Whelp Cakes in chat. Welcome, Whelp. Haven't seen you around in a while. Happy to have you.
What's going on, buddy? Oh, we have Devin Anthony attacking once again Casey Schudy's rear bumper. Casey Schudy running wide. Oh, what an overcorrection by Devin Anthony. But he makes the turn and he makes the pass coming out of turn 2.
Oh. It's Divisionario. Is that how you say it? Patrick, all right. And Whelp Cakes, a creepy lurker, yes indeed. No, thank you to everybody that's lurking, of course. I know we got a lot of family members in chat supporting the drivers out there, which absolutely is awesome to see. So if you do have a family member, brother, sister, son, daughter, whoever out there, big shout out to you guys for tuning in and supporting them. We do genuinely appreciate that here at Trackalicious, and it's absolutely awesome, so thank you. And Mike Patrick will be the onboard as well. Yes, we have Papa Milwee. We have Eric as well, who's here from Indy. Eric, I saw on the Instagram, and I hate to call you out midstream, but I'm going to call you out midstream because I don't actually hate to. But you have a Trackalicious helmet for go-karting, and I don't have a Trackalicious tie. Excuse me, Eric? Oh, and hello from India, Eric. My bad, I didn't even read that at first. Yes, Indiana, not India. Okay, and it is Divisionario. Wait, hold on. Did I mess that up again? Divisionario. Yes, we're good. It is that. But thank you guys. Thank you, chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you so much. Reggie King, back to the race, has picked up a drive-through penalty. And Quinn Smith is piling on the pressure for P2.
Been a while since we've seen a drive-through come through, so I guess with these new Pirelli rubbers, the drivers are finding a little more confidence around the turns, and they're not going as wide as they were in the first half of the race.
Wow, and Eric saying that I am right. Chalk that one up to the books, folks.
Wilson Fernandez had a look on Gavin J, but backed out of it coming out of the first turn.
He's keeping it up, though, so far. Needs to be very careful of the driver behind, who is not actually for position. Never mind, CJ Engine in P16. After that drive-through penalty suffered earlier on, as well as, it wasn't collecting any incidents. CJ just down a lap. I think the pace of these guys is just
saw him
quick.
Come in, but I don't know why. His last pit stop was for 1 minute and 13 seconds.
Interesting. Maybe some damage picked up potentially then.
It's possible. I didn't see him hit anybody or hit the wall or anything. I never saw a yellow flag on his name.
I didn't quite catch that either. But regardless, the result is CJ in P16 as it stands, looking to make up ground. 13 seconds to Neil Kerbel. But as I said, all these drivers have made their pit stops, so we are going to be green to the end here, barring any massive damage picked up. The Reckless Racing GT4 here. GT4, GT3. He also has a Reckless Racing GT4. Going to be racing along with Devin Anthony here, the Black Rifle Coffee Company livery. Nice camo. You can't even see it on track. With the awesome Trackalicious logo, though, on there as well.
Man, Wilson is weaving all over the place, trying to find a way around Gavin J for this 4th position. But Gavin, the racecraft is there, and he's able to keep him behind.
And Sharpenberry coming in, welcome, and dropping all of the hydrates as well. Yes, at this rate, we are going to need a dehydration break. That is no doubt. But I think we should be fine. Only 25 minutes, 50 seconds left to go. Not too much time left in this race.
Once again, Quinn Smith still cannot find a way around Jace Wright.
Wilson
Loses
Fernandez.
a little time.
Wilson Fernandez here in the same boat. Cannot find the way around the McLaren here of Gavin J. Very, very tight action here. Of course, the overtaking opportunities we said before, not too many of them on this track. You got to be very bold and very decisive when you do. The first corner is going to be the best chance. And is Wilson Fernandez going to have the run here? So the McLaren acceleration is really good, especially compared to the Audi. The Audi is known for its acceleration, I think. I could be wrong on that. Wow! As he has to have a correction mid-corner. Wilson Fernandez getting a little too uncomfortably close to the bumper there of Gavin J and makes the correction on the wheel to avoid making contact. That's going to separate them about 1.3 seconds now. Gavin J going to have to make the ground back up. Quinn Smith, though, he's not. The Audi going to be battling with the Audi-powered Lamborghini here for P2 still.
Yeah. Casey Schutte and Devin Anthony is another battle that they just cannot get themselves unglued from each other.
And Tony, you're moved out of the rookie leagues for Monday nights. You need to get some practice in. I think you're going to do just fine in the white plates, but absolutely you got to get some practice in. The competition definitely a little bit more in the white plates, but I think you're going to fit in just fine there. I'm not too worried about you. I think you'll be up there battling for some heavy points. Quinn Smith, though, all eyes on him. Another pit stop being served. That was the drive-through penalty of Reggie King, who's going to be joining the track right in front of these guys. He needs to be aware, and he's not. Oh my goodness, there was contact. Quinn Smith hits Reggie King on exit. Luckily, not much damage was sustained. That was a very light contact. That could have been so much worse.
So, let's go over the biggest winners and losers right now. So far right now, biggest winners on track is Casey Schutte and Gavin J. Both with 10 positions gained right now. And right now, the biggest loser, unfortunately, is CJ Engine with those drive-thrus. And I'm assuming that was a pit for damage.
I would have to assume that you're right on that one, Steven. I couldn't see anything else.
Yeah. But it looks like we might have a battle for 5th warming up right now as Medrano is catching the bumper of Wilson Fernandez. I guess when Wilson had his big off, I think he overcooked his tires a little bit, and now he's losing a little bit of pace. The
high visibility Lamborghini here. Coming up, actually, it's not really high vis, it's more lime. A lime Lamborghini. Coming through the final corner now, gaining rapidly, as you said. Yes, indeed. Last lap, 132.5. This lap is going to be a 132.3 compared to Wilson Fernandez's 133.1. That's a massive pace difference, and at that rate, I would expect Danny Madrano to be by the next lap. We'll see, though. It's one thing to catch, it's another thing to overtake. Of course, the reason Wilson Fernandez has slowed down as well, he has a McLaren kind of in the way of him right now. Gavin J needs to get the hurry up.
That McLaren of Gavin J just will not get out of the way for Wilson Fernandez, so that Wilson can try and fight to get back up and battle that P3, P2 bundle that we got going on with Quinn Smith and Jace Wright. But this is making for some really awesome battling, and Madrano now on the tail, getting that slipstream, is now joining this battle for P4.
We unfortunately just missed it, but we're seeing some great action between these two. Devin Anthony is now ahead of Casey Schutte, actually. Casey, though, going to try to come back at the Rockefeller Racing Ferrari of Devin Anthony. And Tony Danzig, yeah, that incident could have been bad, and brown pants moment for that pit exit is, yeah, an understatement.
Definitely tested the structural integrity of his racing suit.
I love that one. It's so good.
Man, I just cannot get away from this battle right now for P4.
It is quite intense. Wilson Fernandez is going to go a little bit wide there. He keeps it on track, though. We're 44 laps complete as it stands. 20 minutes and 5 seconds remaining here. And wide goes Gavin J. That's going to give the opportunity now to Wilson Fernandez. He's going to take it with both hands. He's going to have the outside line coming into the coming towards the second sector. And not quite enough. In fact, it's not enough at all. Danny Madrano is going to capitalize on that mistake after Wilson Fernandez washes wide. And Danny Madrano is now through for P5. He is the one to keep an eye now on the rear bumper of Gavin J. What incredible action, Steven. This battle is not even close to being done either.
Let's see if Madrano can do what Wilson hasn't been able to and compromise Gavin J enough to where he can make a successful pass and keep the position.
It's the DM Lamborghini. Gavin J is going to be sweating bullets right now as the positions change behind him. And now all of a sudden he has somebody else to keep an eye on in that wing mirror of the McLaren. Quinn Smith also going to be maybe making an overtake here into the first corner. You can see the defense from Jace Wright as he goes as far to the left of the track as is humanly possible. Quinn Smith with the overspeed, though, onto the outside. We see the switchback attempt potentially. No, not quite. Covered off very nicely from Jace Wright. Jace going to cover the inside off again as it's going to turn to the switchback for the 46, but not enough momentum. There's not enough run on exit there as we approach the double apex now. The horseshoe corner. Going to be heading towards Sector 2. Quinn Smith is very, very frustrated, I think, at this point. He's looking like he wants to get this done very quickly. But I got to give massive props to Jace Wright. The defense from him so far has just been second to none. As Quinn Smith here just cannot quite get it done. And Steven's battle for P4 is, well, still not even close to being separated. Wilson Fernandez is falling back a little bit, but Danny Madrano, my goodness.
Yeah, but he's still in that slipstream, and he's waiting to see if Madrano or Gavin mess up just a little bit with their line. And he's sticking in that, like I said, he's sticking with that slipstream just in case and to capitalize on any mistakes.
And Mr. Blackout with a rating party of 22. Welcome, welcome, Raiders. Hope you had a great stream, Mr. Blackout. We'll send you a quick little shout out.
Welcome, welcome.
We are currently here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo, a 2.4 mile circuit located in Valencia, Spain. 14 corners, 5 to the right, 9 to the left. And we have some amazing action. Spent 90 minutes on the clock here for our GT3 League. We currently are watching this battle unfold for P5 as well as the battle for P2. And it is some incredible spectacles. There's been a little bit of bumping and banging, but not too much this race whatsoever. As we see Quinn Smith here in P3 going, and whoa is right.
As Daniel Madrano sent it up on Gavin J, bumped him away out of the position. Ooh, that might be looked at by the stewards, but I think he's given the position back. And he does.
Very respectful. Very tough decision to make in the moment, especially when you have the likes of Wilson Fernandez right behind, who's ready to capitalize on absolutely anything. CJ Engine is kind of getting held up from this, unfortunately. We are going to be seeing Neil Kerbel up the road, I think, at some point here. In fact, that's him in front of them in that GT3. I think it's an Aston Martin. It is. Yeah, the Aston Martin there is actually approaching, which will give CJ Engine a battle. He's just kind of sitting and waiting, using these guys to his advantage.
Yeah, but I think CJ is actually probably enjoying this battle that's in front of him. He's got the best seat in the house to watch this.
Quinn Smith looking to make the move. Inside is open this time. Jace Wright did not cover it up.
Goes wide on the last turn.
That's going to give the opportunity to Fernandez here. The run is going to be in his favor. Inside being slightly covered off, but that's going to be left open for Wilson Fernandez with the overspeed into the first corner, and Fernandez is going to go through, but is he too deep into the corner? No, he's not. He is firmly ahead there. Danny Madreno going to be making a move again potentially here, but no, the 888 Vacuum Racing is firmly ahead. Has made up that position back as Danny Madreno took that position from Wilson after making a mistake, and Wilson has finally got it back. Can now look again at Gavin Jay, as he has been sweating this entire time, trying to hold on to that fourth position. He's been doing a great job of it.
Yes, he is, but it looked like coming out of turn 2, he got a little bit slideways, and entering turn 3. So I think those Pirelli tires are starting to go on that McLaren, from having to battle Wilson Fernandez and Daniel Madreno as hard as he has been.
Flash of the headlights from Gavin Jay as the blue flags are approached. You can see it. Gavin here right on the bumper. He's going to be looking to make a move, but interestingly, I do not think that Neil Kerbel wants to hand this position over, because he knows what's going to happen when he hands these blue flags to these three drivers. He is going to be under immediate pressure from CJ Engine, though he needs to be aware of the blue flags. I mean, the blue flag rules are pretty clear in the rules. You also need to keep an eye, though, on that Quinn Smith battle. But here into the first corner, that would have been a good opportunity to get out of the way.
Whoa!
Wow, is right.
As Wilson Fernandez almost collects the rear bumper of Gavin Jay.
Gavin Jay ends up getting a little too impatient. He makes a move on the Sloth Racing and ends up sideways. Gavin Jay concedes those 3 positions immediately. 2 positions. And actually his 3 is Gazarian is going to get by the switchback of Dreams, though, to hold on to the position. Luckily, Gavin Jay on damage limitation right now. Danny Madreno, though, definitely going to be smiling from that one.
Yes, he is, but I have a feeling, unfortunately, I think that Sloth Racing Aston Martin is going to be looked at by the stewards for impeding in blue flag, not yielding for blue flags.
Almost certainly, I would say at this point, without a doubt. Yeah, definitely is impeding at this point.
Quinn Smith is making an attempt on Jace Wright. They're side by side coming out of the final turn. Quinn Smith finally gets around Jace Wright, immediately cuts into the inside of the track, back to the outside to try and cover off the slipstream.
Into the first corner.
We have finally seen Quinn Smith finally get around Jace Wright.
My goodness, as well as Gavin Jay and Gazarian.
Is immediately under attack by Jace Wright, because Jace Wright wants that position back.
He most certainly does. Gazarian here, he also wants the position for P6. CJ Engine and Neil Kerbel, I think, just had a little bit of a bump in him. What is going on? Oh, that's the back marker here. CJ Engine is actually going to get by, and is going to move out of the way for Neil Kerbel as well. CJ Engine was ahead. Now that battle can continue. CJ not going to be receiving any penalties for impeding, that's for sure. He dove so quickly out of the way there. That was kind of funny. Very respectful racing from CJ.
Well, probably after seeing what happened with the last lap, he did not want any part of that. But yeah, Quinn Smith finally getting around Jace Wright. Now Jace Wright has something to look at for the next 11 and a half minutes.
Wow, only 11 and a half minutes left to go in this race. Time has flown.
Yes, it has, and Madrano is still attacking the rear bumper of Wilson Fernandez.
These two have been together for the past 50 laps as we come across the line right now to complete lap 50 here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo, and they literally have been next to each other for every single one of them. I cannot believe this.
Almost makes you think that these two are best friends and they just want to hold hands all the way to the end of the race.
They are definitely doing a good job of working together right now, but they weren't earlier. They definitely were not quite helping each other's lap time, but it made a very entertaining spectacle for us. And Wilson Fernandez is also going to be thanking them. We see a little bit of side-by-side action there from, I think that's Gavin J, and a back marker, that's Reggie King. Or excuse me, that was Danny Madrano. Do want to take a little look here at the livery of Reggie King. It hasn't been Reggie's race, there's no denying that, but I gotta give credit where credit's due here. Look at this livery that he has managed to produce for tonight's race. The WYC, the Wayland Yutani Corp.
It's a beautiful car.
Very, very nice on the Lamborghini, too. It really works with it. Let's see what it says up on the top here. Priority 1, ensure return of vehicle for analytics. All other celebrations secondary. Crew expendable. Okay. Reggie King making his statement very clear.
We have finally passed the 10-minute mark. There are 10 minutes left, and 10 minutes left in this race.
So Ronan J, we do not do live stewarding in this race. All stewarding will be done afterwards. If you have any incidents, I would highly recommend reporting them. But Jace right here, still on the charge with Quinn Smith. As this battle is gonna go to the end. Wilson Fernandez! Drive-through penalty. The Brazilian vacuum racing driver has pushed the limits one too many times.
He has used up his 4th and final Joker lap. Oh, you hate to see that. So that's a 26-second drive down the pit lane.
Yeah, yes it is. You're right. That's going to be very, very much a hindrance there.
Madrano is going to be happy with that. Gavin J is going to be happy with that. Gazarn is going to be happy with that. And Anton Voss, another name we haven't really been talking about, is going to benefit from this as well.
And also, Ronan J, if you read in the league rules, that is not the blue flag system that we abide by. We abide by the GT racing blue flags, not the Formula One standards. So it is definitely different, though what we were seeing earlier definitely could be argued to be impeding, and I think will be. But we will see. But definitely check the League Rules channel over in Discord before getting too excited.
Whoa, Wilson Fernandez needs to be careful. Almost got another track cut. If he gets one more track cut, I think he's going to be disqualified.
Yeah, if he picks up a second penalty while having a penalty, the game says no, 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 and you will be out of this race. I think we maybe saw that from Mike Burkov earlier, resulting in a disqualification. Yeah, Ronan, they do have we do use the same rules as regular racing. Yes, not Formula One though. We use it as the GT World Standards, or the Fanatec GT World Standards.
Yeah, I believe we're going off the SRO standard.
There,
Jay's
thank you.
right. is trying to make a move on Quinn Smith. Could not make it done coming out of turn 12.
He's running out of laps to do so as well. Bit too far behind down the start-finish straight in order to get an overtake done here. He's going to have to use this lap to gain up onto Quinn Smith. As well, Kazarian here down in P7, the Armenian driver, looking to pressure Gavin J. Gavin J, definitely not in the position that he would want to be in at this stage of the race, unfortunately.
Ooh, Wilson Fernandez is really flirting with this. He still has not come in for that drive-through as he almost goes off again in the first turn. I think he was able to keep those 2 tires on the green paint. The track limit here is the green paint, not the red and white striped curb on the first turn. So you can take that very wide. You just don't want to take it way wide and come off that green paint.
Gazarian getting a little bit sideways as well, having an oversteering moment, managing to keep control of the car. Nice save. But yeah, Jace Wright, he is piling the pressure on here. And Mike Burkhoff just ordered a ton of recording equipment to record your quote-unquote Werewolf in Love song. And my goodness, Jace Wright, he's going to have a good run here. He's going to be trying to take the outside line into the final corner. It's going to give him a great exit onto the start-finish straight. He's going to take that slipstream and try to use it here. It's V10 Audi Power versus V10 Audi Power. Heading down to the first corner, we have a back marker in front of us. That's going to be Mike Patrick, Ferrari Black. As they come through the first corner, Jace Wright using much more track than Quinn. That's going to give him a little bit of an overspeed advantage. And the inside line as Quinn Smith washes a little bit wide. That's going to be marbles on the tire. Picked up for Quinn Smith, and Jace Wright is going to hold it now. The inside, though, get a turn to the outside for the horseshoe corner. Switchback of dreams, though. Jace Wright going to keep this foot on the throttle as they go through the right-hander, and Quinn Smith is still ahead. Gonna go side by side. Still, though, the outside line being taken from Jace Wright as he isn't able to get it done just yet. But what a valiant effort there from Jace. My goodness.
Yeah. And Wilson Fernandez has finally dived into the pits to clear that drive through, which he does. So he didn't get it. He didn't get a speeding in the pits. And now he's back out in P8. Behind Anton Voss, and he's 4 seconds ahead of Vidika Setse, who is still battling on his recovery drive.
Oh my goodness, we had an onboard redeemed earlier, and I don't think I ever did it, did I?
It was for Mike Patrick.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got that one. I genuinely apologize on that. It's a little bit late. We'll see. We can get a little bit of an onboard here, but I really want to keep an eye on this action from Jace Wright.
I got it up in the picture-in-picture.
Why don't you go on board with Mike Patrick on the picture-in-picture? We'll give him. I want at least a little bit. Yeah, and on board with Jace, we can go on board with Jace. That we can do for no points because wow, this is going to be the driver's eye view here as we dispatch Mike Patrick and Jace Wright. Going to be breaking his wrists every single corner he makes. Well, it's because he has a controller. He's the controller king after all.
This kind of works out because Mike Patrick is right behind these two, so we can watch this battle unfold until they drive off into the distance.
And you can see how sideways Jace Wright gets the car through the corners. That's a result because he is on that gamepad. He has to go very oversteery on his setup. And basically every corner he has to make some sort of correction. That one looked very nice, actually. And yes, that is how you get out of the way. Yes, and I will agree with you there. That is how you get out of the way as a blue flag. As we approach the high-speed chicane, and wow, you can see, I know I said it before, but it makes me clench every single time the drivers come through there. It's such a tough corner complex. And that corner as well, braking while turning is the nature of the corner forces you to do. It's really hard to keep it in a straight line, but you have to keep it as straight as possible under braking. Jace Wright falling behind now. Was that all he had in the tank? He goes wide in the first corner. Did Jace Wright use all of the rubber he had there? That's the question. That side-by-side battling for 5 corners, I don't know.
Here's another battle coming on. Professor Carnotus is now attacking Vidigo Sightsev for that P9 position. And we have Kerbal, yellow flag for Kerbal. I think he just went a little bit wide, sent it off at turn 12.
We are now on our final lap. Excuse me. Sorry. As Ricardo Rivera is going to be leading this and has been for the past, well, 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 59 seconds. Ricardo Rivera walked away with this one on a different planet, the Puerto Rican driver.
He's got a 1 minute gap on Quinn Smith. 1 minute gap. Like I said before, he is at the next race already. He is waiting for these guys to catch up.
Yeah, he has already started putting lap times in over at the next track, of course, which will be Watkins Glen.
And we have Kerbal sitting on the line.
He's waiting for
the Rivera.
That's how you know your race has not went well.
But
Ashley is going to get him, yeah. If he keeps this up, Ashley will, in fact, get the overtake. So he needs to cross the line. If he wants to hold P17 here, he needs to get going. He's waiting.
He wants to hold he's going to be...
That's going to be it. He's waiting. He's done. His race, he is saying, I do not want to do another lap. And, well, Ricardo Rivera, he will not be doing another lap. Comes across the line. Lap 58 complete here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo, and P1 goes to Ricardo Rivera. Quinn Smith and Jace Wright, they're going to be battling to the line, I would imagine. They still have about half a lap to go here.
And we have Carnotus coming to the line behind Vidic and then immediately spins the car around. P10 finish for him. Congratulations, buddy.
Nice little flourish. Jace Wright here. I don't think he's got it in him at this point. I think Quinn Smith has done it. Barring any errors through these final few corners, the WRT Audi has held the position after an intense 58-lap battle between these two drivers. The two Audi-powered cars come across the line, 1 second between them. But what a race, Steven, that this was. I cannot believe it.
That was amazing. These two drivers, bumper to bumper, the entire race, fighting for that P2 position, was just amazing.
And Anton Vaus will be the final driver to come across the line. If we can get our top 3 drivers from the race to come into the green room, that would be awesome. Ricardo Rivera, Quinn Smith, and Jace Wright, if you guys could join for interviews, we'd appreciate that massively. As we will head over to the booth and pull up some replays here. Get ready to head on over into the studio. Welcome, everybody. Great race. Absolutely amazing action that we saw tonight. I am so excited. I cannot wait to talk to Quinn Smith and Jace Wright. This is going to be the most thrilling interview, I think. We'll see. As we wait for the drivers to head on up, we have Ricardo Rivera in there. I will rudely move Quinn Smith out of his room into the green room because I want to talk to him. And we are also looking for Jace Wright, the controller king, to join the green room at some point here. I do not see him in the Discord, but we're going to pull in our P1 and our P2 now. And why don't we start? Steven, why don't you take this away?
Oh, man. So we're going to start with Quinn Smith. Quinn Smith, the entire race, battling for that P2 spot. What was going through your mind for that entire race, man?
Just kind of hang there and wait for the mistake to come to get around. I mean, we had the same pace. It was just a matter of who would make the mistake.
Man, but I mean, you must have been getting really tired looking at that Lamborghini's bumper.
I started to learn to appreciate the nice curves it has. I think I'm gonna have that image in my head for a while.
I'm sure you will, man. That was some great racing that we saw from you. And now to Ricardo Rivera. You just ran away with this race, man. You were setting fastest lap after fastest lap for entire race. You ended up getting a minute ahead of P2. Come on, man. Tell us about it. What is your secret?
I don't know. It's not like I have spent too much time in this track, or I don't know if it's the car or what, but I never had won by this margin. So
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't have any special strategy or any special setup or anything different. I don't know, the pace was there.
you were just dialed in and raring to go. That's awesome, man. Mike, you got anything?
No, I'm just trying to locate here Jace Wright, as we do actually have Jace Wright. Like, here we go. As Jace Wright. We got to hear this from your perspective, Jace. How was that battle for 50 laps, basically?
Oh, God. I was nursing my rears the entire time, and I overbraked in the hairpin, and it was over from there.
Didn't look like you were nursing much of anything to me. Looked like you were pushing like a madman throughout that entirety of that 90 minutes. But all right, I'll take your word for it.
I'll try to take the fight to him, but Audie's too fast.
I have one question for both you, Jace, and Quinn Smith. How many track cut warnings did you guys end up getting?
I had 3.
Yeah, same.
Like, I cashed into my second stint. Like, the first stint I was clean, and as soon as I came out the pit stop, I got all 3 of them.
Oh, wow.
That's close. That's very, very close. As Wilson Fernandez, unfortunately, behind you guys in P4, managed to pick up a drive-through penalty on the final few laps. You guys luckily avoided that. I mean, yeah, that's insane. And I think a lot of drivers had 3 warnings. We're seeing in chat as well, pushing the limits to the very end, able to get it that far. But yeah, big thanks, guys, and congratulations, Ricardo Rivera, for a dominant win this time. Fastest lap in qualifying and race win. I'd say you did everything that you signed up for on that one. And definitely not to take anything away from P2 or P3, because that was probably some of the most incredible and entertaining action we've seen in a long time. So thank you to Jace Wright and Quinn Smith for providing that, and Quinn's congratulations on coming out on top there. But yeah, thank you guys. You guys are all free to go, the drivers.
Thank you very much. See you next week.
See you guys.
Have a good night.
And thank you guys as well. And thank you, chat, for being here. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys beyond words. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the raid, Mr. Blackout, all the raiders that are stuck around. And thank you, Stephen Tomazic, for joining me tonight. Massive, massive thanks.
You're welcome.
I think this is probably one of the best races we've seen in a long time, to be honest. Absolutely incredible racing from these GT3s. We are going to raid tonight. We are going to raid whatever fool. The fool himself. He's starting a race right now, so now is the best time. About to go on the outlap and go green. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you guys are in this fine world. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the Monday Rookie League. Thank you, and good night, everybody.
See you at the next one.